Many times we think that creating our brand's visual identity is expensive as we need to hire a professional graphic designer. But today I will explain the process on how to create your brand's visual identity by yourself, as I know you are just starting out with your business and you don't have any graphic designer's skills or experience. In this unit, I will share with you a 7 steps process with do-it-yourself tools so your brand will look professional and you will be proud of having created it. Let's go and see how to create your brand's visual identity.
Key message. Brand visual identity is a set of characteristics that define the look and feel of a brand across channels. Building a strong and consistent visual identity plays a strategic role for brand awareness and recognition. Visual identity is what makes a company's products and services unique and recognizable among the competitors. It is the business' first interaction with the consumer, so it is important that it creates a positive and lasting first impression. Your visual identity should come alive consistently in all your communication pieces and packaging. Why? Because over time, these elements become ingrained in the minds of consumers and they are more likely to remember your brand. What is a visual identity? In branding, what you see is brand's visual identity. Visual identity is how you shape perception and create an impression through the visible elements of your brand. Images are a powerful form for communication, especially because they don't communicate with words. Visual identity is a set of symbols and elements that is designed to represent your brand. It includes your logo, photography, and images, the colors, typography, and fonts, and with all these you create a design. Today I will share a simple 7 steps process to create the visual identity for your brand. I'll start by showing you how to search for trends in terms of designs, colors, patterns, and textures. Then together we will create an inspirational mood board, which is basically a collage of pictures. After that, we will be able to create a simple mood board for your brand with the most relevant images. In the 4th step, I will guide you in how to define your brand's color palette with an easy-to-use digital tool. Then, we are ready to design together your logo. In the step number 6, we will define your typography kit for headings and paragraphs that you can use in all your communication pieces, like website, brochures, social media channels, and even the ads that you are doing in social media. Finally, we will create your brand style guide, which is basically putting all these elements together in a document. So you can use it for the future, or if you want to share with someone who is helping you, like a graphic designer or community manager for your social media or web developer, so they know exactly what fonts and colors and logo to use. At the end of this unit, what you will be creating is something very similar to this brand style guide. Of course, it will be with your own logo and your own color palette and a clear choice of fonts for your paragraph. Let's start with step number 1 for creating your visual identity. How to find trends? There are many options out there on internet, to be honest, but I would recommend starting with Pantone. As you probably know, Pantone is an authority on color. Since 2000, the Pantone Color Institute has declared a particular color the color of the year. So every year they decide what is the color of the next year. Let's see in the link what's the color for 2020. 2020. As you can see, the color for 2020 is classic blue, and here you can see the number of the color. They have created 5 unique color palettes featuring this blue. This is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I also recommend visit this article where you can see the 3 color trends highlights for spring and summer 2021. Let's see in the link. You can see here the 3 color trends highlights. This is summer bouquet, intoxicating, and power surge. The next relevant source you should visit is Pattern Bank, which is a global marketplace for textile design. Pattern Bank connects creative graphic designers with businesses around the world, and they are a print, pattern, and fashion trend forecaster. They offer a few reports for free, which are a sample of what you will see in the paid version with much more detail. Let's take a look. As you can see, they have many trends reports, and they define like concepts. For example, magic mushroom is one concept, doodle dash is another, rainbow days, or technicolor tribe. Let's go to one of them. Technicolor tribe, and you can see a summary of the colors of this trend, and also some print designs that you can buy for your own brand. For example, you can see this one, indigo shibori, how you can use this textile according with different products or elements. For example, how it will look in a cushion or in a bikini or, yes, in a jumper. Let's see the next one, Pattern Curator. This is another great source of design inspiration, which delivers color, print, and pattern trends and inspiration. Mood boards are available to view on the site without any subscription. I love this website. To be honest, it's one of my favorites. As you can see, they have different mood boards. For example, you can go to one of them and you can be inspired with the colors, the designs that they have selected. And then they can show you the color palette of this trend. And then we have Creative Market, that is an online marketplace for community-generated design assets. The company sells graphics, WordPress themes, stock photography, and other digital goods for use by web creatives. What I like from here is that they have a very interesting blog section with design trends. As you can see, this is the blog, design trends, and you have different design trends here. For example, we can see these 10 illustration trends for 2020. Abstract illustration, geometric designs. Then the next one is 3D illustration, futurism, neon illustration, cyberpunk colors. You can explore the site by yourself and get inspired. And finally, I would love to jump into Canva.com. That is a free design software that is really easy to use, very friendly, and we will be using later in this unit for creating your mood boards. But for the moment, I would like to share with you these sections where they share some logo design trends. As you can see, logo design trends to watch in 2020. They explained the importance of a logo and they revealed 10 logo trends for 2020. The first one is retro and vintage. Then animated. Line drawing. Mascots. And you can explore the rest by yourself. Hopefully, these logo trends and designs inspirations are useful to create your own visual identity. Now let's move to step number 2, where we will be creating your inspiration board. What are we doing here? A collage of images that inspire your brand style and also reflect the emotions you would like to awake into your target audience. We will be collecting inspirations from all over, not only related to your industry. Not logos, but colors, textures, scenery, illustrations, nature, products, materials, people, art, home decorations, even food or animals or images for fashion, or to be honest, anything that inspires you. Then we will be creating this secret board on Pinterest. We will be pinning as many images you want to have in your board, and then we will filter them down and delete as many as you need to get the number of images to 15 to 30 images. Your board should look cohesive, well integrated and unified. I would like you to consider the color psychology when choosing images with color. Let's explore what I'm talking about here. In this website, we can see the color psychology. So for each color, we will be understanding what is the psychology behind the color. So you can make a smarter decision when you define the color of your logo. Pinterest is a visual social media platform designed to help people discover and save images and short versions of videos. On Pinterest, you can collect as many as pictures as you want. When you discover pins that you really love, you can save them to boards to keep your ideas organized and easy to find. So today we will create an inspiration board so you will be able to collect the images you want and then you need to create them, which means that you will need to select only the ones that work with each other, the ones that complement each other, so your inspiration board looks cohesive. We will create a secret inspiration board as you don't want to share the work behind your visual identity with other people. I will show you how to create a Pinterest account and to create a secret board. So let's jump into Pinterest so you know what's the process and how it works. So this is the first step to create a Pinterest account. Here we are inside Pinterest. So if you don't have already an account, you need to create one. And of course, if you have an account, skip this step and log in directly. So you need to click on Sign Up. It will ask you for an email, a password, and your age. Once it is done, you will see your Pinterest dashboard. This is my dashboard. I already created an account for myself. As you can see, I have many boards. But the idea is that you create a new secret board for your inspirations. Let's create here a secret board. You go here, create a board, And then you need to define the name that you would like to put to this board. It doesn't matter the name that you give to your board, it's just for you. Let's call it Inspiration Board for Visual Identity. And then the most important part is to keep this board secret. So let's create it. So Pinterest is normally providing some inspirations based on the name that you give to the board. So they recommend you some pins that they may think that are relevant for your board, but in our case, so we are not considering this inspiration. So now the board is completely empty, as you can see, and this is where the search process begins. We will work together in an example. So we will imagine that we are creating a brand for accessories for women, that we are selling belts, bags, necklaces for a modern woman that she's curious, she's modern, and she loves to be surrounded herself by art and nature. At this point, we need to start searching for new inspirations, so we will go to the search icon. Here we need to write what we considering is interested for our brand. So we already had these trends inspirations that we visited. So the idea is here to start expressing yourself with the most relevant things that you've seen in your search. So in my case, I was so inspired by botanical illustrations in the middle of the jungle, for example. And Pinterest is providing all these beautiful images about botanical illustrations in the jungle. So I can select the ones that I consider are more relevant for my brand and consider that the colors are the most important part in this board, as later on we are defining the color palette according to the colors that we've seen in our inspiration board. So here, imagine that I like this picture. So it's recommending me to save these images in one of the boards that I already have. That is, the names is illustrations. But no, we will go to the board that we just created. The board was inspiration board for visual identity. So it's this one. So it's already saved. So we can start like scrolling down and see if there is another picture that I really like. So in my case, I love the colors in green and pink. So I will start like pinning this type of pictures with the colors that I like. This peach color that I like, this turquoise or green color. So again, I'm pinning them. Then I can start another search. So let's say that I want to see a velvet sofa for a modern home, and it's in dark green. So I like this velvet sofa, but I was looking for something more similar to this color. So again, if I want to pin it, inspiration board, and it's saved. I like also this combination. I really like the pastel pink with dark green. And like this, and we are creating our board filling with many images, as much as you want. So don't worry about the amount of pictures that you are pinning. because then we are curating the board and we are deleting the ones that we consider are not consistent between them. And then we can see the one that we just created, and we can see that we already have a few pictures. In this case, so we have only a few pictures. And if we go down, Pinterest is recommending me other similar pictures to this one. So they believe that are relevant for our search. We can go for more options, or we can start another search. For example, let's say a leather bag, premium bag, and again, is in green. And let's see. So I like this bag. I think that it feels like a bit luxurious. So yeah, let's go to this bag. Pin it in inspiration board. And then we can define another search. For example, I like the Pantone stripes, the colors stripes, and let's define the colors in green and peach, and we can see what Pinterest is offering to me. It's not exactly what I'm looking for, so I can edit my search and say pink, or just one color, peach. And I can see, for example, I like this combination of colors. And what else? I like these colors too. So again, we can go to our board and see how we are, how it is looking. Yeah, and again, Pinterest is giving me more ideas of what to pin. I like this, for example, and I think that I can use that picture to my board. So it's already selected, and I like this sense of jungle. So when I click here, Pinterest is recommending more pictures like this one. And I like, for example, this image. And like this, we can keep going and on, searching for images. I already created a board with all my inspirations. So this is the board that I've created, and I would like to show you. For example, I added pictures of Cartagena, the combination of green and pink, as you can see. And then, for example, we consider that there are some of the images that are not relevant for our search, and we can delete them. For example, this is a bit dull, so we go to edit and delete the picture and delete the pin. So this picture is not part anymore of our board. So we can keep our board with 15 to 30 pictures that we consider are relevant for our inspiration board. In the step 3, we are creating a mood board for your brand. What is a mood board? It is an arrangement of images to evoke or project a particular style for your brand. Basically, it's a refined version of your inspiration board from the previous step that you met on Pinterest, that collage that you have created. You have around 30 pictures that you have selected on Pinterest. So now we need to look at those pictures and pick between 5 to 10 images that best describe or represent your brand. Here it is important you select them having in mind that they will be a foundation for your color palette. In this chart, I would like to share with you a few mood boards from different brands, and you can see that the vibe in them are completely different one from each other. With a mood board, you should get the general vibe of your brand, a bit of the personality and emotions that you want to transmit. It tells a visual story about your brand and sets the tone of your brand or the mood, as the name implies. So let's create a mood board using Canva. In canva.com is where you can pull your best branding visuals and assemble them into a single powerful mood board. Let's see how to use Canva. Here we are in canva.com, and if you don't have an account already, you have to create one account. So you have to register. You have the option to sign up with Google or with Facebook or sign up with an email. Let's sign up with an email. There you need to write your name, your email, and a password and get started. This platform is free to use, and of course they have also a paid version, a premium version, where you have more features. This is a screen that you will see as soon as you sign in on canva.com. I already have an account on Canva, as I use every single day for creating the posts for my social media platforms in my two businesses. It is a great tool because you don't need to have specific skills to start using it. It's very friendly, very easy to use, and most of the tools are free to use, but the paid plan has incredibly useful features like remove backgrounds, for example, on pictures. But Canva offers a 30 days trial for this paid version. So I would recommend you to use this trial and see it by yourself. Also, because for this exercise that we will be doing later, creating the logo, you will need to upload specific fonts, custom fonts and typography to create your logo. So you will need this free trial, and then you can decide whether you want to continue with the paid version or not. So you can cancel this trial at any time during these 30 days. So what we are doing here is that we are creating a design. We can put custom dimensions, or we can use one of the standard dimensions that they already have. Let's use, for example, an Instagram post, not because we are using this for Instagram, but because this is already a square grid. So you can use this as a base for creating your design. So later, what we need to do is upload the selected images that you have decided you want to create your mood board from the pictures that you have on Pinterest. So let's go to Pinterest. And from the inspiration board, you can decide which pictures you want to create your mood board. Let's say, for example, I want this picture. I will choose only 6 pictures, and what we are doing is saving these images, for example, on my desktop. I already saved the 6 pictures that I want to use, so I don't need to do that, but you can do it by yourself. Once you have download all the pictures that you want to use, you have to upload these images on Canva. So upload an image. So where are these pictures? They are on my device. I already have these selections created. So I will upload these images. As you can see, they are uploading. And here we have the 6 pictures. So then what we need to do is to create a grid. So let's go to Elements. And we are going to Grids. Here I decided I want to create a mood board with 6 pictures. So as you can see, Canva is offering me grids, for example, with 1 picture, 2 pictures, 2, 2, 2, 3 pictures. So then we are going to 6 pictures. So for example, we are in 6 already here. So I will choose something that I really consider that could create my mood board. For example, this one. As you can see, it's already a grid with 6 pictures. Now what we are doing is that we are seeing the pictures that we have uploaded, so we can put these pictures on the grid. In order to create our mood board, we need to put the pictures on the grid. So we have 2 options: to drag the picture, selecting one picture and dragging the pictures and deciding where we can put, or we can just put a picture, just click the picture and then move the picture, drag the picture and decide where to put. And for example, I want to use this picture in this square, but as you can see, so the picture, the image is not fitting properly in this rectangle. So I will delete the picture here, I will click on here and I will crop this picture so to fit better on the rectangle that I want to drag in. As you can see, it's much better. And then we need to complete the mood board with the rest of the pictures. For example, this one, I want to put it here. Again, it's not fitting, so I will delete the picture and I will crop it so to fit the rectangle better, and then I will drag it. And finally, I will put the last picture in this rectangle. As you can see, my mood board is already complete, but I can play around with these pictures or with other pictures. So if you haven't defined the 6, 10 pictures that you want to use and you want to try different things, you can copy and duplicate the page. As you can see, I have 2 pages and you can start deleting, or what you can do is to add a page and create a completely different grid. For example, let's say with more images. So, for example, this. Yes. And you can do the same, upload pictures and play around. Okay, I decided that this mood board is fine for me. So what I need to do now is to download this mood board so I have the final version of the mood board. I will download, and Canva is giving me different options in terms of file types: PNG and PDF and PPT. So I will use the recommended options that they are giving me because they have the best quality. So do I want to download all these 3 images? No, I want to download only the page number 1. So I'm done, and then I'm download, and it's downloading the final version so you can use it later on. Once we have created the mood board, the next step is the step number 4, that we are defining together the color palette for your logo. So your color palette is as important as your logo. The colors set the mood, the vibe of your brand, so they are extremely important. Your color palette will be used in all your communication pieces, in your packaging, website or marketplace, in your social media, in everything that you will be doing. So here we will extract the colors from your mood board and create your color palette. 5 colors is my recommendation when creating the color palette, but you can use 3 colors or 4 colors or even 6 colors as a maximum. I wouldn't recommend to go further from 6 because it would be too much and you need to be consistent in your communication. Let's look at this example. See, we have really nice tones of greens, peach, pink, and also we have a whitish or gray color. So this is what is important is like creating a color palette that they have a good contrast between the different colors. I've added a text in the squares with the rest of the colors so you can see how the colors of the rest of the color palette are contrasting or not with the background. So for example, in the first square I have this peach background and I have written a text with the rest of the color in dark green, pink and white. So as you can see, when the peach color is in the background and the text is in pink, you cannot read properly, so it's difficult, it's hard for the eyes, so you always need to think about how they are working together and they are contrasting between them enough so it's not difficult to read. So let's dive now into coloradobe.com and I will show you how to use the mood board to create your color palette. This is the screen when going to color.adobe.com. It's free and it's a great tool to find your color palette. There are many possibilities in terms of color combination and it's really easy to get overwhelmed. So what I recommend here is to use our mood board. So we are going here to extract theme and we are uploading the file with our mood board that we just created on Canva. Here is Untitled Design. And here the tool is already giving me some options in terms of color palette. So it's already creating a colorful color palette, a bright color palette, a muted or deep tones or dark or anyone. So non-color palettes means that we can drag these circles and define what color we want to use. So I could recommend you to play around with this option as I think is the best idea because you have a better idea of what you have in mind in terms of color palette. So, for example, I like the peach color, so I haven't seen this peach that I've selected before, so I like this color, for example. And then what I like is the dark greens, but this is a bit too much, too dark, almost black, so I could go for a dark green. So here is about playing with the colors and seeing what you have in mind and defining what you want to achieve. So let's say that you want this could be green, dark green, almost with a tint of blue. Here you have more blue, maybe I will go with a color that is, I have in mind something similar to this. Then for this green, I think I will go a bit lighter so they can play better together. So let's see if I have a lighter version for the green. This could be an option. And also I want to see this is too light. This is about just playing with the colors. And let's say that I define this color. And then I want to add lighter colors. I'm not seeing here. So, but for example, I want to add a whitish gray, something similar to this. That could be nice, or to this color. And then at the end is the pink color. I can move the color pink and play what is the right pink for me. So I like this pink. It's very so in line with the peach that I have defined. So here, for example, I have my final color palette that I decided. So you can download this and then create another option, another options. So and then you can compare all these options and decide later on. What is important here is the colors, they have a number. So this code is a number which is identifying this color with Pantone. So you can use this code on Canva and set the colors for your visual identity. So what we are doing now is to save this color palette, and it's asking me to sign in for saving the color palette. So I already saved a color palette, so I don't need to do this, but you will need to do this. Sign in, create an account. It's completely free. This is my final version of the color palette. So please save this, the color palette you have created. Save the numbers because you will need them later on when we are creating the whole visual identity. Great! This is an exciting step. This is step number 5 where we are designing your logo. But first, before going into the process of creating your logo, I would like to give you a few recommendations. So try to keep your logo simple. Yeah? Keeping simple doesn't mean that it will not look professional. Quite the opposite. So you don't need to say or show what your brand does or adding icons of your industry. For example, if you are a photographer and you are creating your logo, you don't need to put a camera into your logo. You don't need that. So keep it simple, ideally with typographies or some icons, but keep it really, really simple. And pick fonts carefully according with what you want to evoke, what emotions you want to awake. So here in the example, I did a screenshot of the website for the brand Hip Typical. This Guatemalan brand, they sell handbags and they sell masks and different accessories. So the logo is very simple. As you can see in the top left corner, Hip Typical, they have 2 typographies, one for the brand and another say handmade in Guatemala. So as you can see, the brand comes alive not only because the logo, but with all the visuals that you are using, with the color palettes, the photography, your products, even videos. So although it's important, your logo, please don't stress yourself when creating your logo. So there are three options when designing your logo. The first one is hiring a professional graphic designer. The second one is to use a logo generator. There are many platforms out there. Some of them are free to use and other options are paid. And the third option is to use simple typographies. So, as we mentioned, the first option was to hire an affordable professional graphic designer on Fiverr or freelancer platforms. It's the best option if you can afford it. To be honest, it's cheap to use these platforms. You can create a comprehensive design brief, before asking a professional graphic designer, because you have to be very clear in what is your business background, what is your brand positioning, what are your competitors, your portfolio, what are your favorite colors if you are not sharing the color palette that you have created and you are asking the graphic designer to do it for you, but you need to express this in the brief that you are creating to the graphic designer. You have to say what type of fonts you like, because they will be reflecting better the idea that you have for your brand. Also, it would be useful for them to share with them inspiration logos that you like, that you think that they could be a good reference for them when creating the logo. Here you have both links to these platforms. The process here is very simple. Let's dive on Fiverr. This is your interface when going to Fiverr.com. Fiverr is an online marketplace for freelancers services, and they have customers worldwide, and also the freelancers are in different parts of the world. So it's a great platform because the time frameworks these freelancers provide your requirements. For example, a logo is really fast. For example, in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days. So I already have an account. You have to create your account because this is a paid platform. So you need to put your payment details, so cards or PayPal that you are using, and of course it will be the platform will be charging you only if you are using or hiring a freelancer. So for example, what we need to do is what type of service that we are looking for. We need a logo design. So from here, it's asking me what category. I want logo designs, type of logo, if we know what type of logo we want. So what's the budget? For example, we can say that we want to spend up to, I don't know, £30. It's British pounds because I'm based in England. Applied, and then when is the delivery time? Express 24 hours, 3 days. Let's say it's up to 7 days because I'm not in a hurry. So what are the seller details? So if we want to have a top rated seller or a different level of freelancers, so I'm not asking for any requirement here, only to speak English. And where the seller lives, I don't care where the freelancer is based, so apply. And then we can see many different options of freelancers. All of these are different freelancers. As you can see, there are many. There are thousands of people offering these services. As you can see, there are 10 pages of freelancers offering this service. So for example, let's say that I want this option. So this is a level 2 seller. I will design a modern, minimalistic, feminine logo. And the reviews said that she has almost 5 stars and already 382 reviews. So, and the starting price is 20 British pounds. So I think this will be a great option. And here we can see the work that this person has done in the past. And after seeing this, I say, okay, this is a good option. I can see all the reviews here about this freelancer. And then we have the packages. So for example, always you have three packages: basic, standard, and premium. The basic, so in this case she's designing 2 logos with 2 revisions, and the files are only in PNG files. So maybe she's not giving you a different vectors. As you can see, it's not a 3D mockup. She's not giving you social media kit, and it's not giving you a vector file. And then you have the standard, that you will need a vector file. For example, there are some materials, or for example, when designing your packaging, that the supplier will need a vector file and not only a PNG design. So, and then you have a premium option. So let's say that you want to go with, I don't know, the basic one. So you can continue and make the contact to the seller. So asking for additional information, or providing the brief that you have created. So to ask the freelancer if it's feasible to do what you are willing to do. And the process is so simple. The other platform, named freelancers.com, is very similar to this one, and you can use this or the other one. They have similar rates also for their services. There are 3 options, so let's move to the second option when designing your logo. The option B is to use a logo generator platform. There are many options out there, but I would recommend to go with tailorbrands.com, as it is an affordable logo generator, and you have to pay only when downloading your logo design. Here we are in tailorbrands.com. So the first things that the platform is asking is, what's the name of my brand? So I'm doing an exercise with a invented name, and I will call it Grumana. So then the next things that the platform is asking me is, what type of products do I sell, or if I am an influencer, or if I'm working on a school project or I run a place, I provide services. In my case, I'm selling products. So how do you provide your services? Online only, or only in person, or online and in person, or others? So I would say that for this exercise is only online. So then it's asking me to enter my industry. I would say that I sell handmade accessories and bags and necklaces. So let's say, for example, this is just a reference. So let's say that I'm selling a bag. And then it's asking me more information about my business, so I can skip this or complete if I want. In this case, I will go to next. And it's asking me 3 different options. Do I want to create a logo that is icon based only, or I want a name based, only typography, or just the initials base mainly for the as a main element for the logo design. Let's say that I want to go to a name base, only the typography. And it's asking me that to choose 3 styles that I like, so to provide the look and feel of our logo, and I can choose between childish, smoother, handwritten, bolder, trendy, masculine, classic, elegant, delicate. So only have to choose 3. Let's say that I like handwritten, brush, and elegant. And we can go to next. And now is where the magic happens. It's creating some options for my logo. It's very simple to use. And here is where they are asking me to log in, to register. So already I've been in this site before, so they are asking me to use the same email address and a password, but you can put your email, your password, and you have to sign in. So here is giving me some options, as you can see, completely different options according with the definitions that I provided. Yeah, and I can see even more options. So this is up to you what you really like. It's very personal. Let's say that I like this option, Grumana. Then I can customize. And here they are giving me different fonts styles, and I can edit the spacing between the words. Let's say, look at what is happening. The styles, say brush, texture, stylish, handwritten, the three options, all the options, Grumana. I think this is the best option that I really like, Grumana. Also, I can update and customize the color. So we can define what's the color for this brand. Look, this is the color, the main color. And I can define exactly the color that I want to use. Remember that I mentioned that you have to save the color that you are using from the color palette you created. In my case, I remember I have 5 numbers, so I will try to use the number with a pink peach color, that it was D9H179, and you can see it's this color, and save, for example. This could be one option, or we can go with the green option, the darker green, that it was 034035 in this color, and save. I like this option, and I think that it looks delicate, refined, it's easy to read. And then I can see, for example, how it will look in a, for example, social media, in a t-shirt, or if I'm doing business cards, logo in different elements. So this is a very quick proposal. So for example, if you have a Facebook page, how it looked like there. Yeah. And then when I finish, so I have to press only finish. Review your design, keep editing, or I'm finished. I will say I'm finished. And here is asking me to download or edit the logo. So I would say that I will download as it is, just the logo, but it's also offering me different services like creating a business mailbox, build your website. So I'm not doing anything of this, or print your logo. I'm only downloading the logo that I've created. And then it's asking me in what options of versions in terms of resolutions that I want. So I will say, okay, download. And it's asking me, do you want a sample or do you want to upgrade? So the sample is just to see how it will look like in your screen, but you will need to do an upgrade if you want to download with different high resolutions files. For example, the basic one is per month or the standard. And here you can see all the options that they are providing when they are giving you the logo. Let's imagine that I want this option. The standard is choose and is sending me directly to pay for this service. I already created one before with this example, so I don't need to do it again. Another great tool that I would recommend you to consider when creating your logo design is canva.com. They have many options for logo generation that are very easy to use, and the process is so simple. Let's dive into canva.com. Here we are in the dashboard of Canva. So what we need to do is type here logo templates or logo, or you can go to this folder named logo. It's exactly the same. So Canva is giving you many options of logo for different industries. As you can see here, so some logos that they recommend for me, or Facebook Shops logo, animated logo, and then it starts with, for example, gaming logo, art design logo, fashion, brand logo, and it's giving me many options. But I would recommend you to see all these options at the bottom of the here. You can scroll down and you will see all the results for all the categories. Yeah, so all results. And from here you can choose the logo that you believe is relevant for you, what you have in mind. Remember that later on you can change the colors, you can remove the icons if you don't want these icons, or even you can change the typography with the options that Canva is offering to you. So let's say that we want to create a logo. Again, for the example, I'm using the name Grumana. So let's imagine that I like one of these, and so I'm still scrolling because there are so many options and I'm not sure which one to use as an example. But let's say that I like, for example, this Kaya. So what I will do is click on here and write the name of my brand, Grumana. But let's say I don't like this icon, this heart, so I can delete. Click and delete. And also, if I want to add a slogan or a text explaining that this is a bag brand or anything, or you can delete. Yeah? And then we can change the color for the background and the text. But we will do this later on. So let's add other page and remove what we have and start looking for other options that we consider are relevant for our brand. Let's say, for example, that I like this one. Again, same exercise. I will write here Grumana and I can remove, and I can make this smaller or bigger. This is up to you. And again, we can change the color later on. I duplicated the page or create another page and I'm removing the background, the color. I can go with another option. For example, I can use something completely different, so you can play and generate as many options as you want. As you can see, they say free in the bottom of the picture, so some of them are free and there are other options that are paid. Let's say that I like, for example, this option. Again, I'm writing Grumana and I can delete this, and then we can change the color. Can you see that you can see the color here, there, and also for the text. For the exercise, let's define that we like this option. As we can see, we have here this green color, but as you remember, we have created a color palette. So we can go here and write and look for our color. And we can write here, and as you can see below, we have the color code. So we would like to write our colors that we consider is relevant. Remember this pink color? The code was H179. And this could be the color for the background, or I can change the color for the typography. Also, for example, here, remember the color, this whitish gray color that we have? Okay, the number was F1E7E1. And here we have. Yes. And then when we can play with the other different colors that we have, yeah, I duplicate, and we can define that the color is the opposite. So remember, Canva is saving the colors that we recently used. Yeah? This is the color that we use for the text. So now we are inverting the colors and we are putting the colors in the different way. So we can change and use the pink color that we use. So and we can see how it looks with this background and this other background. And we can do the same with the green colors that we have created. Let's duplicate it again, and we can change the color for the green that we have. So remember, we have two greens, so I will put the green that was darker. And again, Canva is saving the colors that I recently used, and we can change again the color with this ivory or whitish color, and I think that this look really nice. And we can do the same for all the options that we have created. The same with the icon. So for example, these lines, so I can change the colors with this the colors that we just defined, and we can change the background, for example this dark green, and we can change the text color for this pink color, and we can play with this. They have so many options to play around, and we can also add, for example, that we like a symbol from or an icon from other logos, so we can copy the icon, paste it on our, let's say that we want to create, we like this little icon. Yeah. So what we can do is remove this part and then copy this icon. In my case, I have a Mac computer, so it's Command C, and I can put the icon here, and we can drag the icon and decide where we want to put the icon. We can make it smaller, bigger, change the place. Yeah. So Canva has many options, so you can play with your logo. We don't like this, so we can remove this, and we can create so many options, and then we can see all the options here. Yeah? And then you can decide which options you like, which one you want to remove because you consider it's not relevant. For example, this pink option, yeah? And you can keep playing with other options that are completely different for your brand. So keep playing with the designs. Grumana. We can make this bigger. So yeah, and we can play with the design. And let's say that I put in the middle exactly. Canva is saying where is the design placed in the square. And again, we can change the color. Remember, I had the different color. The other peach color was F2BVAH. And we can see the color here, and then we can change this color and use the dark green, and we can keep this in white, or we can make it wider. So the options that Canva are offering to you are endless. So I really recommend to go with this option. Let's move to the final option, the option C, using only simple typographies to design your logo. So again, this time I'm going to recommend you to use canva.com to create your logo using just typography. Let's go there. Here we are on canva.com again. So we are going to create a design, and we can use custom dimensions or again Instagram post. But let's say that the size of the dimension of this square will be 1000 by 1000. And when we are creating this template, what we need to do is go to text. Now we need to add a text box, so we are adding a heading, and we are writing the name of our brand, Grumana. In my case, I would like to see it bigger so I can appreciate better the font. And here is the fun part, exciting part of the process, that you are playing with different typographies that Canva has to offer. As you can see, there are many options. I would recommend to go to popular fonts, discover by yourself which of these options are better for what you have in mind for your brand. Let's say that I like this one, and I can try how it works with my brand. No, I prefer something more delicate. Let's say I like, for example, this one that I consider is completely different, is a bit modern. Imagine that I like that one. So what we are doing now is copying this text and pasting, and we will put in the below this so we can compare the different typographies. And again, we are looking for a different one. And in this way, we can add as many typographies as we want. So for example, this one, and imagine that I like that one. It's a bit simple, but it can work. Then again, I'm copy pasting and looking for more options. Popular fonts like this, for example, I like this style. It's very different. I will make this bigger, Grumana, and I think that this is a great typography for what I have in mind. I can try with another one. Then we can play with the colors as I explained before, but for the moment we are just playing with the different typographies. There are so many typographies, so this is too big for this. Okay, this is too small. Let's say 80. As you can see, this is a bit childish, but I like is completely different. So, and we can keep doing this on and on and on until we find the right typography for our logo. For example, I'm duplicating the page. So we are now having 2 pages, and here again, so we can play with completely different typographies. Look at this, for example. Yes, this can work. Then another one. This one also I consider is very different. Again, I'm doing this just with a couple of more options, so you can see how different are the styles of each of these brands. So the look and feel is completely different when you are just changing the font. And for example, the last one I will say is this one. This is a bit difficult to read, but okay, and as I said before, you can go to the bottom and you can see how they look, and you can compare them and delete the ones that you consider are not interesting. So, and this is the exercise, so you can define which one do you like and go with that one. So for me, the most exciting one was, I think, this one. So I will copy this and I will put in a different page and paste, and I will make it bigger. And as I said before, I can change the color and I can see how it will look with the color that I want. As I teach before, I've uploaded the colors of my color palette, the 5 colors, the dark green, the green, the pink, the ivory whitish color or gray, and the peach color. So what we are doing now is duplicating the page, and we are changing the color of this the logo. So in dark green, so I did this exercise in all the colors that I mentioned before. This is exactly the same color, the dark green, and in all the color of my color palettes, as you can see. In this chart, I summarize all the options in the 5 different colors that we have created with a color palette with the name Grumana. So let's move to the next step. So the step number 6 is where we define the typography kit for headings and paragraph, for example, that you can use in your website or marketplace, or also in your social media channels, even in your packaging. So this is an important step, and we need to ensure the readability even in small screens like mobile. I would recommend also to use free and well-known fonts. For choosing the right combination of fonts for headings and paragraph, again, I'm recommending Canva because you are already familiarized with this platform. So I think that it's a great idea to keep all our creative process in the same platform. Let's go to canva.com font combinations. Here we are in canva.com font combinations. This is pretty easy to use, and what we need to do is start selecting one of the fonts that we are using. It could be in the text, in the paragraph, or in the headings. And here are some options provided by Canva. So from this one, we need to choose which one we would like to consider for our paragraph or headings. Let's say that I like Montserrat. So now it's providing some options combined with Montserrat. They can be in the main heading. Montserrat is in the main heading, as you can read, and in the paragraph is recommending another font, Droid Serif. And also I can see more options here. For example, now again Montserrat is on the heading and Esteban is in the paragraph. And I can see different options. I have 4 different options that I can choose from. If I consider these are not great enough, I can go back and choose another font and try and see if there is something else that is better for what I have in mind. Let's say that I like Open Sans, and it's giving me options, 4 options where Open Sans is in the paragraph, and it's recommending me another font for the title or headings. This is Futura PT Condense. And let's go to the next one. Again, Open Sans is in the paragraph, and I have some option in the headings. Another option, another option. From what I see, I consider that Montserrat was the best option. So I will go back to Montserrat and I will review these options again. Montserrat and Droid Serif, Montserrat and Esteban, Montserrat in the paragraph, and Montserrat in the title, and Varela Round in the text. I think this is a great option. So what we are doing now is writing down the name of these fonts so we can use later on when we are creating the brand visual guide. How exciting! We are in the last step for creating our visual identity. Now it's time to create a brand style guide. It's step number 7. So we are putting all together in canva.com. We will be seeing the logo, the color palette, the fonts for headings and paragraph, and also if you need, you can define patterns, textures, icons, and photography in this brand style guide. So how we are putting all together? Let's visit again canva.com. Here we are again in canva.com. Remember that we have created the logo with simple typography. I think this is the best option for what I have in mind, and I created in different colors. So what we are doing now is create a new page, and we are copy and pasting your logo, but we will put this 4 times so we can make a decision in terms of colors. Which color will be the color for the typography of our logo, and which logo will be for the background. Remember that ideally you need to define 5 colors at maximum for your color palette for your visual identity, but for the logo I would recommend only 2. So now what I'm doing is that I'm trying to create template where I can make the right decision. So I have one of the colors, it was this ivory. The next color that we are using is a dark green. Then the next color will be the light green, and the last color will be this pink color. And for the background, we are going to go to elements and add a square. here in shapes we have a square. So by default is adding any color, so we are making this square exactly as is the background, and we are changing the color for the color number 5 that is missing from our 5 color palette. So here we have all our colors, the 5 colors, putting all together in the center, so it's nicely done for our eyes. Now, so we are doing the same with the 5 different colors for the background. Let's duplicate the page, and what we are doing now, as you can see, is duplicated, and we are changing the color for the background, and now we are using the pink color. As you can see, because the typography here wasn't the same pink, what I need to do is replace for the pink that I just it was before in the background. And we are doing this exercise again, duplicating, replacing the color of the background for one of the others. Let's say the pink, so the green one. So we are going again for the light green, and we are replacing for the one that is missing, the pink color. And again, we are duplicating and change the background for the dark green, and we are changing here for the light green. And finally, the final option, we will have for the background this ivory color, and we are replacing the first one with the dark green. So now we have the 5 options. Option number 1, option number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. So now we have to make a decision in terms of what color we want for our logo and the background. So let's view and consider one by one. So the important part is that the contrast between the colors are making the text easy to read. For example, I like how it works, this dark green with this peach light color. Also, I like this ivory with the pink at the background. From here, to be honest, I don't like any of them. And from here, I like maybe the dark green and the light peach. And from here, the 3 first options are working properly, but not the last one. So now I have to define which is my favorite one. I think that my favorite one could be, let's see, not this color for the background, not this color for the background. I think that I like this color, the dark green with the ivory background, and also I like the same one but inverted. So the ivory for the text and the dark green for the background. So we already have a decision made. So what we are doing now is creating a final page when we are copy pasting the ones that we like. So we say we like this. So we are copying and pasting. And we are also copying the background and pasting. And can you see the text is behind, so we need to move this square to backwards so we can see it. But here we need to revisit and say, okay, this is one option, but the other option that I had in mind was this option. So I'm copying, I'm pasting, is here, and also I want to copy paste the background, copy pasting the background. Again, I need to send it to backwards. And here it is. So now I need to make this smaller, much smaller, so I can add all the elements for my visual identity. I need to reduce this dramatically so I can put all the elements together in one only square. So I need to move this and make it closer, and as you can see, it's so easy. You are just dragging the elements. Okay, and now we need to add for our visual guide the 5 colors that we decided to use. Let's create small squares where we can put all the colors that we need to use for our visual identity. I'm copy pasting several times, 5 times, so we can write here the codes of these colors. So now we are changing the color for the 5 colors that we want. Sorry, this is not the color, this is the color. As you can see, the document's color that I recently used. The green, the ivory, and the peach. And now what we are doing is adding text. We are adding a small text, and we are writing the code that we had before. So this color was F2BB88. Now I'm copying the text several times so I can drag it and put it in below each square. Of course, I will edit the text so I have the final codes for each one. So it's so easy dragging. So the dark green, the code was 034035. For the pink color, the code was D9H179. For the light green, it was 497336, and for the ivory one was FF1E7E1. So here we have the 4 codes. So we try to align all these so it's more presentable. And yeah, and we are moving. So we have all the colors. I forgot to mention that sometimes you cannot choose the background of the surface because someone, for example, in a blog, in a magazine, they are asking you to send the logo in transparent background. So in that case, so we will be adding a new option, and my logo will be in this dark green, but because the space is so small, so I need to make this smaller, much smaller, and I will reduce the size of the typography. Let's say 100, and the same here. So we are creating this, and again the same size. I am trying to create exactly the same design, 104, and we will create another. I'm copy pasting just the name so I can have this option also in my kit of visual identity. I will try to make this more in the center. All these options should be in the same place. Say yes, and so we can move this a bit higher so I have a space because it's missing the fonts for typography, the fonts, and also the fonts for the headings and fonts for the paragraph. So now I need to add a text, so I can highlight that we need to create, for example, we will call this heading, and this heading will be in capital. And as we decided, we are going with Montserrat. So we have the heading here, and we will explain here that the font is Montserrat. So it is clear for a person who needs to use our visual identity, so it's clear what they have to do. And now we are adding a text for the paragraph. So we adding just a text box, and we are going to Lorem Ipsum on Google, and we are copying a text and just adding this text that is not saying anything in particular, but the idea is to provide an example of how the typography is working with this text. So we are adding here the name of the font, that remember it was font Varela Round was the name. And so now we are changing the name, the typography here, Varela Round, and we are changing the typography. So with that, we have already our visual brand identity kit created. So we are downloading only the page number 14 in PNG type of file, and we can select transparent background. So here we can see that it won't be white, the background, it will be transparent, and we are downloading. And then we have finished with our visual identity. With this, we have completed our 7 steps to create your visual identity. Hopefully you had fun during the process, this creative process, and you learned some new tools to create your logo and visual identity in general.